In April of 1912, the world was captivated by the launch of the RMS Titanic, a marvel of modern engineering. At the time, it was the largest passenger ship ever built, 882 feet long and weighing over 46,000 tons. The Titanic was advertised as unsinkable thanks to its advanced safety features and its multiple watertight compartments. The ship embarked on its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York City on April 10, 1912, with over 2,200 passengers and crew on board. Among the passengers were some of the wealthiest people of the time, including John Jacob Astor IV and Isidore Straus, co-owner of Macy's. But on the night of April 14, disaster struck. At 11:40 p.m., the Titanic was cruising through the cold, dark waters of the North Atlantic, near the coast of Newfoundland. Despite being warned of icebergs in the area, the ship was traveling at a speed of about 22 knots, nearly its maximum. Then, tragedy. The Titanic collided with a massive iceberg that tore a 300-foot gash along its starboard side. Water flooded into 5 of the ship's 16 watertight compartments, far more than the ship could handle. The Titanic was sinking. The ship's crew worked desperately to save as many passengers as possible, but there were not enough lifeboats. Titanic could only carry 1,178 people in lifeboats, far fewer than the 2,200 passengers on board. By 12:15 a.m., the first lifeboats were lowered, but many were only half filled. Chaos ensued as passengers scrambled for a spot in the lifeboats, while others, especially from the lower classes, were left behind. As the Titanic began to tilt and its stern rose higher into the air, the final moments of the ship were chaotic and terrifying. The ship's lights flickered, and passengers were thrown into the icy waters of the Atlantic. At around 2:20 a.m., the Titanic broke apart and sank completely, taking with it over 1,500 lives. The freezing water, the lack of lifeboats, and the desperate scramble for safety claimed the lives of many who had no chance to survive. The nearby ship, the Carpathia, arrived about 2 hours later and rescued the survivors, but by then, it was too late for most. In the aftermath, the sinking of the Titanic became one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history and raised significant questions about safety at sea. The tragedy led to changes in maritime laws, including lifeboat requirements for all passengers and improved safety measures. Though the Titanic was lost, the legacy of the disaster remains. Its tragic story has been remembered through films, books, and exhibitions, keeping the memory of the ship and its passengers alive for generations.